Piers here, welcome back to my channel. So if you're thinking about how do I start service accommodation business, and then forward think about how do I actually manage those service accommodation units, guys, you're watching the right video. In this video I'll be sharing you my thoughts on service accommodation management. Firstly, thank you so much for watching all my videos in my channel. I have been getting loads of views, and also a lot of people are actually now commenting and asking me different questions through either social media posts I'm putting in. So one of the biggest questions now I've been raised is a lot of time people understand service accommodation business, but the first thing they worry about is if you're working full time, you haven't got, you've got very less time to actually manage those property. The biggest concern for people is, what involves in the management of service accommodation. Just going to put SA for now. And today's video, what I'll do is I'll be sharing you my top 8 things in a mixture of different. Now I don't know if you've seen my previous video I've done. I talk about a lot of sales, people, operational, brand and marketing. So I'll kind of mix it up a little bit and actually give you my 8 top things that you're going to invest on a kind of daily basis managing your service accommodation unit or your Airbnb business. With that all being said, let's crack on and actually create a quadrant, which again in one of the business plan video I've done, I've actually shown how to create a quick business plan for your service accommodation business. And the first thing I cover is your people. We then have your branding and marketing. You also have your operationals and legals. And then you've got your sales and performance or your financial. Right, and this will kind of give you an overview of what involves in your kind of day-to-day of your running of your service accommodation, or let's call it managing your service accommodation business. Well, the first thing I'm going to cover is from people. Now, one of the biggest thing you are going to invest your time, and it's very important actually you do so as well, is your guest communications. Right, so while you're managing your service apartment, it's very crucial that you have a kind of automated system anyway to communicate with your guest. But not only that, it's always sometimes important that you're on top of guest communication, so your guests are actually getting the right information on check-in day. Eventually, some of your guests might do an early check-in, so are you on top of those? So making sure that you actually invest your time managing your guest communication as well. The second thing I'm going to cover is actually going to be your communication again with your OTAs. So if you guys don't know what OTA is, it's online travel agents. So you've got Booking.com, Airbnb, Expedia, TripAdvisor, Hotels.com. There's many OTAs that you're going to be featured in, and it's very important sometimes to really keep an eye on your OTAs and your calendars and your actual account as well, because sometimes there will be chances where your calendar might be just booked off for some weird reason. So to keep on top of that, to make sure you're communicating with your OTAs if you require some help on your listings and stuff. So I make sure that some kind of message goes to Airbnb and I ask questions, or some kind of message goes to Booking.com if you don't know how to do certain bits. Then yes, that is very, very important. So yes, you will invest a bit of time actually communicating with OTAs. And move now into my favorite part. If you follow me on social media, branding and marketing is something I talk about all the time in my Facebook, my Instagram, even in this channel. If you look at all the videos I've done, I've kind of supported on my free Airbnb hacks. I've also done Google My Business actually was one of my favorite, because we've had, I think, just over 2,000 views and 300 plus Airbnb owners actually downloaded it. So for me, that is a crucial part of my daily management, which a lot of service accommodation actually don't do it. And the owners actually leave what they do is they put their listing in and then they let it go as it is for months. Now, the reality is what you should be doing as a part of your daily management is actually look at or let's call it review your listings. And that's as simple as just making sure you're on top of your listings in the service accommodation area you've got. So making sure you've got the right pictures in there. If you've got to change pictures, you change it. You can make sure you've got the right title in there, right descriptions in there. So what you need to do is really create a 4 weeks plan and then change it accordingly to see what's going to work the best for you. Now, once you find the best listing, then you can leave it, maybe just review it on the performance side of it, because all the OTAs actually can give you, I don't know if you've seen the back end of Airbnb and Pulse, which is the booking.com, they actually allow you to see your views, your performance, your clicks. So 100% something that you're going to invest time on your daily management is just reviewing your listings. The other thing, which is my favorite topic now, something I work with is my branding and branding builder clients. So I've got one-to-one clients that I consult with. So if you've got a service accommodation business and you want to scale your business of service accommodation, I talk about your direct booking market placement. Now, another favorite topic of mine, because I believe that you should just not sit on OTAs. Now, at this moment in time, I'm sure you guys are aware, we have now got Airbnb blocked. We've got booking.com blocked till 9th of May. So your calendars are now completely shut off. And the reality is, I've seen in social media a lot of service accommodation owner has been relying on OTAs only and have had never a chance to actually build their business through branding. And now they're panicking, they're worrying because they're sat empty on their units, or also they're not being found online. So one of the things I daily work on and review it on a daily basis is my direct booking market placement and how I can improve it. How can I actually make it better so my clients can not only find me on my OTAs, but really drive and actually look at me through my online presence as well. So something very exciting and a great part of your management when you involve it in your branding and marketing. The second thing on the operational side is going to be calendar management. And as you're running a service accommodation business, right, you on a daily basis, it's so important that you not only do the rest, but you're really looking into either you use an OTA or you've got a channel manager, just to make sure you look at the whole week's performance on a daily basis to know exactly what sort of occupancy rates you've got. And not only that, make sure your prices are attractive in the market. So, you've got to compare what other people are charging and also what you are charging. So that way, what you're doing is you're not missing a chance of even getting those last minute booking, and absolutely making sure that you've got on top of those calendar of your service accommodation. Now you might have 1, 2, 50 units. It's really making sure that if you invest your time managing your calendars, then that it's going to really help towards your sales and performance. Well, with all that said, I think if you look at from going through the journey of making sure you've got people, branding, operational. Now I know there's a lot more thing in people I'll go through. I know there's a lot more thing in detail I'll go through: branding and marketing, operational and legal. Now moving into sales and performance, my favorite part is to create a daily report. It is so important that you've got a daily report of your performance, of your financials, of the week, of the month, or even month to date. Then that way you're really on top of your figures. Now, one of the biggest saying you've seen is in business, financial and knowing your figures is so important. Now, it's the fact that if you look at, if you've got 1 or 2 units, you should really know your numbers by heart. And actually, when you go back and look at those numbers, you want to make sure that either you've increased your sales on a weekly performance, or you've actually not increased and actually you've gone back on performance. So the important part is, if you create a daily report, now that could be using one of your channel managers, or even individually you can create your own reports. But as a management side of it, I believe that making sure that you've invested time actually making a report for your daily performance, for your weekly performance, for your month-to-date performance is so important. Well, now we've moved on to the second part of sales and performance, which see, there's a lot more things in details that you can go through on your daily report, but another topic that I really make sure either myself or my investors, my one-to-one client, really focus on is actually on client reviews. Now, I put it under performance purely because we know that our industry of service accommodation, and part of hospitality industry, is really driven by client review. And what that means is, clients are actually staying in your apartment, and either they come through booking.com, Airbnb, or direct bookings. You've got to make sure you're capturing those clients' experience through all these platforms. Now, it's so important that is what at a later date is going to help you actually get a lot more success in your service accommodation business, purely because your listing is going to be ranked a lot more higher based on your review. A lot more clients at the moment who goes into booking.com, Airbnb, the first thing they're going to look at is you as a host and what sort of reviews other people have done on your service apartment. So it's very important from a management perspective. You should invest a lot of time on a daily basis creating, processes for your client review, making sure that your clients are getting great experience, and at the end of the day, that's what's going to help you create those performance and sales, and actually have your monthly occupancy go a lot higher. Well, today you've kind of seen like an overview of the management side of service accommodation business, and hopefully that kind of gave you an idea of what actually gets involved on your daily routine as a service accommodation owner. Now, like I said, there is a lot of lists I go through. I personally have a nice checklist I go through on a daily basis, but it's nice an overview that I speak to a lot of service accommodation owners, and there's, I must say, over 50% of people I've spoken to do not actually do this and do not actually implement this, whereas I've been quite nice and successfully making habits to do this in my business, which allows me to actually be in top of my management. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Now, I must say that I've been posting in this channel every other day, or nearly every day at the moment, trying to give as much as value and different value as well. So not the usual what is Airbnb, how to run it. It's much more detail on how you can actually get the best out of your service accommodation business. Now, please do check out all the videos I've done. I've gone much more detail on people. I've talked about branding and marketing. It's really to give you some kind of an overview of running a service accommodation business. But look, guys, if you're interested to learn more about service accommodation business, or even if you want to scale your service accommodation business, I do have an online program, and also have a consulting program, which I will help you actually go through a lot more scaling of your branding and marketing, and eventually get you those direct bookings. Not only that, to kind of make you the best market placement in your service accommodation area. If you've enjoyed this video, please give this video a massive like, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you soon with another video.